I've just crossed the border from Cambodia to Vietnam and am waiting outside the town of Ha Tin for a transfer to the bus station. In the meantime, I'm enjoying a performance by a fellow traveller. I've managed to get on a bus going from Ha Tin to Chau Doc, which is my destination. We stopped for a moment and the driver got out and took a look at the engine. I was worried we'd broken down, but now it seems like we're on our way again, and within about 3 hours I should arrive at Châu Đốc. Well, we finally made it. Now I'm standing by the river, just observing and appreciating a glimpse into the way of life of people on the Mekong. When you come on an organised tour, there are various activities and performances that are put on just for the tourist. This time, I'm glad that I didn't do that and that I've come as an independent traveller. I'm going to try the local version of bun ca, or fish noodle soup. I've heard it's different to everywhere else. Indeed, the broth is like no other I've tried before. It's a little sweet, rather pleasant. The next morning, I head off in search of a Cham village. In fact, this is the main reason why I stopped in Chau Doc on my way home to Ho Chi Minh City. I've seen the remains of Cham temples around Da Nang and other places in central and southern Vietnam. And now I want to see the descendants of the people who built those structures. The Cham who migrated to the Mekong Delta are Muslims, so I looked up the mosque on Google Maps and followed directions. I can never resist the sight of a rice field, so I take a little detour on the way. Back on the main road, I soon glimpsed the minarets of a mosque in the distance. Opposite the mosque was a market, and the women were wearing hijabs under their conical hats. One of them spoke to me in English. She said she had lived in the United States for a short time. I followed this sign in the direction of what promised to be a Cham village. I was excited to see the houses in the village, but I hesitated to stop and stare. I entered what promised to be a local Cham market. It turned out to be a delightful recreational space with food and drinks and the opportunity to catch your own fish. These fish were ornamental only. I wasn't going to eat them. I arrived early morning when there were few other guests. I was warmly welcomed by the staff, and I had the opportunity to have a conversation with one of them, a Cham man by the name of Ismail. Ismail told me that the Cham still speak their own language here in the village. It's an Austronesian language related to Malay. The first Cham who migrated to what is now central and southern Vietnam, dating back more than 2,000 years, came from the Malay Archipelago. They were seafarers who established kingdoms in river valleys up and down the coast of what we now call Vietnam. I started walking back towards Chau Doc, but the heat of the day soon got to me and I accepted a ride from a motorcycle taxi. I asked him to drop me off at the central market, where I went looking for the locally made cakes. These cakes are made from palm sugar, and they turned out to be rather delicious. It was a great late morning snack. Later in the afternoon, I stood and watched the activity on the river one more time. The next morning, I started my 6-hour bus journey back to Ho Chi Minh City. I had really enjoyed this very brief acquaintance with the culture of the Cham people. I decided to make a trip to Phan Rang in the near future, a place on the south central coast where there are more Cham villages. Thanks for watching this video.